Hey everyone, welcome back to World of Warcraft Classic Hardcore and our Human Paladin. I appreciate you joining me today, and I hope you are all doing well. Today, we're going to be heading back to Aberdeen in a little bit, we're leaving at the moment, to continue our campaign through Darkshore. But first, since we hit level 21 in the previous episode, we can now pick up a new weapon. I'm hopeful that there will be a weapon vendor in Darnassus that can accommodate our needs for a mace, specifically. But we're going to find out. And if they can't, it'll at least give us a chance to explore the city a little bit. So, let's get started. We've boarded the boat, which arrived just on time. And we'll definitely have to make sure that we pick up the flight path over in Rutherin Village as well. There might be some quests we can pick up too, and we'll explore that village a little bit, get an idea for what lies within the outskirts of Darnassus. I always thought it was a kind of a shame that the view distance was so small in Classic, specifically from Darkshore, because if you look at our left, you can kind of see Darnassus, or not Darnassus, I guess Teldrassil, sort of in the distance, but it's a shame that you can't see it from Darkshore. I think that would put things into perspective and make it a little bit more of an immersive experience. I do think that, I've said this before, I do think that there is something to having a limited view distance, at least having it be not as, long and as far as what you get in retail. Just because if you have it too far, it does take away the scale of the world a little bit. And, introducing flying into the game, especially on Azeroth specifically, has definitely contributed to that feeling as well, but in this case, I think it would be, I think it's kind of a shame that you can't see Teldrassil from the shores of Aberdeen. It makes the town feel a lot more isolated than it actually is. In any case, we are now here in Rutherin Village. Take a look around. Let's get that flight point. Got the fishing trainer, of course. That makes a lot of sense. Some sentinels. Airless amber sky.
I assist you.
Tell me more about hippogriffs. Okay. Tell me more. Druids are very sensitive to the plight of all creatures of the world. When it was found that these birds were in danger, we set up a system of rescuing them from the corruption of Feralis. A gnome named Kurgle Cranklehop leads the affair. She collects the eggs and has them sent here, where I care for them. We could always use more help with our cause, Sedelian. Maybe you should head over to Gadgetzan and look for Kurgle. Interesting. So this isn't a quest itself, but you can talk to this guy, as early as like level 5. As like a night elf character. That's some really interesting backstory. I mean, it always made sense to me that, the hippogriffs would be cared for by the night elves, but having a little bit more context to that, the fact that I suppose they come from Feralis, and not necessarily or native to like places like Ashenvale or, Felwood before it became uncorrupted. Maybe it's still the case, but it's still interesting to see stuff like that. You kind of get some of that from the Horde side as well, specifically with the Wind Riders and the Pride Wings. You get a little bit from that too. Got a lore keeper up here. Unfortunately, she does not have any books for us to interact with. Let's see him. Yeah, that's really cool. I think there's probably a quest that we could pick up at a later date. But for now, I think we'll move on.
Hello. Farewell.
Nessa Shadow Song, the fishing supplier. I think she sometimes has a quest as well. But in this case, she does not this time around. Alright, we got our flight point, so now it's time to head into the big city. I don't think there's anything else for us to explore outside. And welcome to Darnassus. We haven't checked our bank in a while. Just wanted to make sure we just have the shirts in there at the moment. We're not storing anything else. So I'm assuming the Warriors Terrace here and the Tradesman Terrace probably going to be our best bet as far as looking for vendors to find that mace from. Got the Weapon Master here, of course. And I'm assuming the Weapon Master would have staves for us
How may I help?
if we wanted to pursue that. It looks like we can't learn anything, so maybe we can't even use a staff as a paladin.
Feel free to browse.
Got a weapon merchant here. Some axes and other blades. That's all I see at the moment. Here we go. Okay, so we do have maces here. That's good. Yep, and the one that we need, which is going to be the maul.
Del Nadris.
Getting an extra 3.5 damage per second from this. And we're really jumping from a very, very slow weapon to a very fast two-handed weapon. We're going from 3.7 down to 2.9. That is going to be quite the difference. It's actually funny, they do, if you look at the amount of damage per hit that they do, the maul does the exact amount of damage that our current weapon does. It just does it almost an entire second faster. So we got the maul, looks pretty good. The rock hammer we've been carrying around with us has been quite primitive looking.
Good luck.
This is something that I would expect a paladin, a human paladin in particular, of the Alliance to carry around with them.
I am
Let's check
listening.
the armor as well. So we've got cloth pieces here. Still can't seem to find a cloak that we can purchase, so we're just going to have to wait and get lucky with that. But this person has everything. All the low-level stuff at least, but it looks like all armor types. Alright, and honestly, I wasn't expecting to pick up exactly what we needed that quickly. But I think what we're going to do is head out. Take one last quick look around. There's probably some quests that we can find in the city, but they might be gray to us, so it might be hard to see them. Maybe we'll take a quick trip over to the Cenarian Enclave. We'll just run a quick pass through that area, see if there are any quests to pick up, and then I think we'll move out from there. I feel like if someone's going to give us a quest, it's going to be either Huntress Ravenoak or or this guy here, Relian Greenspire. But I think his quests might be a part of a chain of some kind. I don't think we're going to find anything within these buildings themselves. Everything here is going to be druid related for the most part. Got a poison vendor here. I gotta be honest though, I've never been inside any of these other buildings really, besides this main one in the middle here, which is where all the druid trainers are located, and Fandral Staghelm, of course, the leader of the druids. So this must be the actual enclave part of the Cenarian Enclave. I've never actually been down here before. But this appears to be where the rogue trainer is located. Which I suppose makes a lot of sense. There's a lot to this cave system here. Got a training dummy down here. Can't interact with it, but... just another rogue trainer down here as well. Oh, we've got a book here. We've got a blacked out weapon. Not sure if that's just like a graphical error. But yeah, we've got a very empty den here with just a single book just kind of hanging around on this this table here. Exile of the High Elves. It's not very long, so we should definitely read this. As the centuries passed, the Night Elves' new society grew strong and expanded throughout the budding forest that they came to call Ashenvale. Many of the creatures and species that were abundant before the Great Sundering, such as Furlbogs and Quilboars, reappeared and flourished in the land. Under the Druids' benevolent leadership, the Night Elves enjoyed an era of unprecedented peace and tranquility under the stars. However, many of the original Highborn survivors grew restless, like Illidan before them. They fell victim to the withdrawal that came from the loss of their coveted magics. They were tempted to tap the energies of the Well of Eternity and exult in their magical practices. Dathramar, the brash, outspoken leader of the Highborn, began to mock the Druids publicly, calling them cowards for refusing to wield the magic that he said was theirs by right. Malfurion and the Druids dismissed Dathramar's arguments and warned the Highborn that any use of magic would be punishable by death. In an insolent and ill-fated attempt to convince the Druids to rescind their law, Dathramar and his followers unleashed a terrible magical storm upon Ashenvale. The Druids could not bring themselves to put so many of their kin to death, so they decided to exile the reckless Highborn from their lands. Dathramar and his followers, glad to be rid of their conservative cousins at last, boarded a number of specially crafted ships and set sail upon the seas. Though none of them knew what awaited them beyond the waters of the raging maelstrom, they were eager to establish their own homeland, where they could practice their coveted magics with impunity. The Highborn, or Kelderai, as Ashara had named them in ages past, would eventually set shore upon the eastern land men would call Lordaeron. They planned to build their own magical kingdom, Quel'Thalas, and reject the Night Elves' precepts of moon worship and nocturnal activity. Forever after, they would embrace the sun and be known only as the High Elves. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I know some additional bits and pieces of that story, I guess the story that came after what this book goes over. But, I'm kind of more interested in, maybe this is something I knew a while ago but just forgot about. I'm very interested to know and understand how the High Elves evolved from being Night Elves. The Night Elves obviously evolved from the Dark Trolls, I think. I think that's the specific clan of troll that they evolved from, but Yeah, figuring out how the Blood Elves evolved, I think it might have something to do with Tirisfal Glades and, the horrors that they went through in that area. Maybe it was something to deal with, like the magic, beneath Tirisfal, making them go crazy or something, but yeah, there was clearly a transition between Night Elves and Blood Elves somehow. And it's also interesting that Ashara, who used to be the leader of her, I feel like of the High Elves at some point, remained a Night Elf. I mean, I know she named her people the Highborn, so maybe there's a difference there between Highborn and High Elves. Maybe they're different. Or maybe it's just what the Highborn evolved into. I'm not sure. In any case, I'm glad we got to explore that little area. There's still plenty of Darnassus to take a look at. Sometime in the future, I would like to explore each major city in more depth. But maybe it's just as simple as, kind of doing what we just did. Just going into a city, explore like one little area that I haven't looked at, in considerable detail each time we, visit a major city. But that was nice. We got to read a book, nice and short, but definitely packed with some interesting facts about the past. But it is now time for us, with our new weapon in hand, to get back to business. We're currently in flight back to Aberdeen. And I think we're going to start with the Washed Ashore quest first, just off the coast. I'm going to be looking for the remains of a turtle underneath the waves. Should be located next to some sort of vessel or sunken ship. Alright, we are back. See if we can jump off here and onto the beach. Let's get underneath the water. I think what I'm going to do is just head straight for that little hill in the distance. And we'll take a look and see what we can find underwater. Yeah, I can definitely see a sunken ship over here on the right, so let's go head over there, and I think I see the turtle remains as well. Right there on the left. Let's come up for some air. We'll loot the turtle, and maybe we'll explore the ship a little bit as well. Cautiously, of course. Yeah, because we are going to run into some of these dark shore threshers as well, as we explore a bit underwater. Alright, so we've got the sea turtle remains. Let's just take a quick look at this ship and then we'll head back up. Oh yeah, not much of a ship, I guess. Got a shade of Allura down here. I don't know who you are. Maybe you're used for a quest, because you do not have any interesting loot on you. Alright, I don't want to drown, so let's get out of here. We'll head back to shore and we'll turn this one in, and we'll pick up any follow-ups. we're going to be turning this one right above us. Hello again,
I am
Gwyneth.
honored. Illuminate your path.
Once you have investigated the creature's remains in the water to the west here, I should be able to file a proper report with the Temple of the Moon in Darnassus. Perhaps then we will be closer to discovering the reason why these unfortunate creatures chose to end their lives beached on the coast of Darkshore.
Asha Fela.
You've been a tremendous help here today. We now have a solid chance at unlocking the mystery of why these creatures chose to beach themselves on the coast of Darkshore. The idea that they might be fleeing the area around Teldrassil is disturbing. Should you come across others in your travels, please let me know. Our research here is but in its infancy. On behalf of the Temple of the Moon, please accept this as thanks for the effort you have given. Thank you, Sedelian. Oh, there actually is a white piece of gear here. It's weird that there's like a green belt, but like white boots and white bracers. The bracers are not as good as what we currently have, though. So we'll take the green
Go in
belt.
peace.
It's worth a little bit more. And Gwyneth does not appear to have any additional quests for us. I thought it might be the case that if we do run into some more beached sea creatures, hopefully we can interact with them and simply pick up quests from their corpses that we can run back to Aberdeen and turn in. But we'll see. We have another quest that we have to do off the coast anyway, which we might get to later. And we'll see if we find any more of those creatures. For the time being, we're going to be taking on the Red Crystal quest, which is a crystal being worshipped currently by the Owlkin, or Moonkin. Already stumbling upon a few already. It should be within a cave in the mountains to the east, if I remember correctly. I think the quest describes it that way as well. I do see a cave down below here. I suppose we could check this out first. I believe this cave is where Luna Claw lives for any druids trying to get their bear form. Ooh, and we just picked up a new cloak. It's one armor worse than what we have now, but I'm not really too concerned about that. Concerned with how it looks. It's purple again. We've rocked purple before, and you know what? I kind of like it better than the green. This one's a little bit longer, I feel like, than the purple cloak we've had in the past. But the red crystal is not here, so I think we're going to have to get a little bit closer to the mountains. Looks like we've got another little cave over here. More on the ground, less in the mountains. You can see an oracle. I don't see a red crystal though. I think we're gonna have to look elsewhere. Looks like we're heading a little bit further south now along the mountain range itself. You can see another cave over here. Didn't realize there were 3 of these things that were so close to each other. Let's see what's in this cave. No, I don't see anything here either. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe it's not within a cave. Maybe it's just in the hills somewhere. I suppose we can read the quest text again. Large red crystal along Darkshore's eastern mountain range. Yeah, so it might just be out in the open somewhere. I'm assuming it's going to be on top of like a hill, you know, one of these hills or something. And maybe we'll start heading north instead and try our luck. Try our luck in that direction. Ah, there it is. Okay. Wasn't too bad. Looks like there's another cave even further north. It's a little bit more expansive than I originally remembered. And we don't even have to interact with it, we just had to locate it. So I think we're done with that one. Since we are so close to Aberdeen, why don't we go ahead and turn that one in first before we move on to what's next. And we're back in town once again. I think this quest is turned in a little bit closer to the inn by the docks. There we go.
Hello.
So the crystal exists, Sedalian. Fascinating. Anyway, your task has been very well executed. Good work. What exactly is this crystal? This is but a single question in a sea of questions. Another question that comes to mind is why the Moonkin would be drawn to this object. Is the crystal benign in nature, or does it hold a more sinister purpose? I have many more questions, but we're going to need to examine that crystal closely to get some answers.
Goddess, watch over you.
Use this empty vial and fill up on some moonwell water here in Aberdeen. Such potent magic should provide a clue as to the composition of the crystal. To do that, you'll pour the liquid over the crystal, and it should take care of the rest. While I don't anticipate anything bad happening to you, I still want you to be careful. Above us to the east is Fellwood. If that crystal is tied to that place as I suspect it is, then it could prove to be very dangerous.
Farewell.
Okay, we got a Fellwood shout out. Let's go ahead and fill this empty water tube up. Got some Moonwell water. And let's head back to the crystal. Head off the main road now. And, I think we'll just head directly east. I think that was a good starting point. I've made it back to the mountain range. Let's open our map real quick. No, let's actually take a look at our mini map. That's what I remember about it the most. I think we need to go just a little bit south. The mini map gives you a good idea of where these caves are. These little camps of Moonkin are located. I believe it was located right around between these two camps that are furthest north, and yeah, I can see it right there. We are here. Let's interact with the mysterious red crystal. Crystal looks very alien against the wooded scenery of Darkshore. You think you hear a very slight humming coming from deep within it. You have made it once more to the mysterious crystal. Removing the stopper on the tube of Moonwell water, you gingerly pour the contents over the top of the crystal. As the water cascades down its lattices, you see the opaque surface turn transparent. The Moonwell water has revealed that embedded inside the crystal are a few small fragments of bone, as well as half of a jawbone. The jawbone appears to be from a humanoid, but it is unclear without breaking open the crystal. A feat that even the strongest of magic would find near impossible. With the task at hand complete, all that remains is to report back to Sentinel Glinda Naushay in Aberdeen. And it looks like you actually get a quest from this line here, which is probably when a lot of rogues and maybe even like mages get their first green weapon, if you're not like purchasing from the auction house. I wonder where this quest is going to take us. I think that what we're going to do is probably head north. We'll save the turn-in for this quest later. So we'll head north. We'll deal with cleansing of the infected, which is going to be simply killing some more rabid thistlebear. And then we'll turn in the other quest that we completed over in Ameth Aran, over with the spirit in Bashal Aran. So I think that's what we're going to do now. We're pretty deep into the forest at the moment. I think I see the ruins of Bashal Aran just up ahead. I've only seen the regular thistle bears at the moment, none of the infected ones. So let's go ahead and turn in this quest here at Bashal Aran, and then we'll head north, where we should be running into more of those infected bears. Alright, let us speak with Asterion. I am freed, Sedelian. I can now see with my own eyes the changes that have come to our world. Only bits and pieces have I known. To think that when I last walked freely, the well still stood and the Highborn held court with Ashara, our beloved queen. I sense that my jailer, my former master, Athricus, still lives. Already my feelings of hopelessness will give way into thoughts of vengeance. Alright, get a selection of some green pieces here. I think the wand probably going to cost or sell for the most. And that is it from Asterion. We have freed him from his spectral prison. Let's hop down the hill, and let's head north, and let's hunt some bears. Starting to see a mix of both rabid and normal bears, so I think we're in the right place. as many infected bears as I would have hoped for, in this section at least. Could have sworn there was a spot where they were basically like all infected. I'm starting to wonder if there's also a spot where we could find some of the rabbit variety at higher levels as well. It would be nice to gain some experience again. But that might be far in the south, if I had to guess. We'll just keep heading north. We need to do so anyway. There's some other stuff that we can take care of while we're up here. In fact, we'll start heading east again, so that we can try and deal with the Cliff Spring Falls quest for the cave mushrooms. So it's probably going to be like right around here. That's where we're going to find the waterfalls. Crossing over the main road now, and I do see another infested bear. Hopefully there will be a little bit more on this side. Like we just picked up the same cloak twice. I was hoping that would be different. I feel like we're not going to get a cloak upgrade here in Darkshore. We're probably going to have to wait until we head into Duskwood or start the wetlands for the first time. Still a couple levels away from that though. At least that's what I'm going to try to go for. Hopefully everything else that remains in Darkshore will take us to level 22. That would be the goal. And then we're going to head back to Westfall and Red Ridge and see if there's anything else that we can complete in those zones. Should definitely be a couple things for Westfall that we can clear up. And luckily I was right about this side of the road. Seems to be a lot more rabid thistlebear over here. Though now it looks like we have some competition. There's quite a few of them are dead. Just south of those Cliff Spring Falls. And there's our competition, a fellow druid. So we'll leave that alone. We're going to head north, and we should be right next to the river that leads into the Great Sea, the Cliff Spring River. And we're going to follow it. I can see the falls over there at the end. We'll cross the river real quick. Maybe there'll be some more bears on this side as well. See a couple. Making pretty good progress on that one. They're going down super quick, especially with our new weapon. So we got about 5 more to go. Yeah, and you know what? The Tower of Alphalax is also up in this area, I think. I can actually see like it. I think it's poking its head out on the mini-map here in red. So maybe when we're done with the cave mushrooms, we can stop by there just to at least turn in the quest that we were originally given. I don't know if we're going to actually be able to go inside the tower. It seems like a bad idea. It seems like there's just a whole lot of stuff that could go wrong. Alright, but we are here at Cliff Spring Falls now. So we're going to head up. I'm going to check out the area and collect some of those mushrooms. Yes, the Naga Cave. It's probably the investigation portion of that quest, because we're not just here for the mushrooms, we're also here to see what's actually going on with the place, and clearly Naga is not a great sign for the people of Aberdeen. But it is good for us, because these things actually are green for us, so we can start getting some experience once again. We are going into a cave though, so we're gonna have to be careful. As I say that, we hear 2 sirens. Not very careful so far. But at least these types of caves are a bit more open. There aren't a lot of tight corners, so it gives you the chance to, especially if something hyper spawns, you can at least kind of see it coming, or be better prepared for it. You're not going to get blindsided. It appears like there aren't any patrols that I can see at the moment, especially if we stay on this upper ridge. The only thing that we have to be really careful about is just falling into the pit. Let's just make sure we don't do that, or chaos may ensue. Looks like we can gather up this scaber stalk, mostly up here on the upper ridge though. As much as I would like to explore the entire cave, I'm not going to go out of my way unless we have to complete a portion of this quest. Just need one more scaber stock and the death cap, which we can grab here at the end. And I think that's all we're going to need from that quest there. Gather the mushrooms for me, and while doing so, scout the cave to confirm the ancient spheres. Yeah, so just simply the fact that there are Naga here. This might be the first time you experience Naga as a player in WoW. I don't think you experienced them in Teldrassil. Certainly not in human or dwarven lands. Yeah, I feel like most of the Naga in general are located in Kalimdor. I think there's some in Stranglethorn, if I'm not mistaken, but other than that, I can't really think of a specific spot that Naga exist in the Eastern Kingdoms. Okay. Let's grab that last mushroom. We'll get out of the cave before we start running into some trouble. Looks like we have been getting some respawns outside. Alright, we collected a ton of these clams. We can open up these real quick. We did get lucky with another pearl. That's nice. Okay. Now that that's complete, let's finish the rest of cleansing the infected, and yeah, let's head over to the Tower of Athalax, too. We'll just, I think that'll be a good place to end for today. See what's going on over here at the tower, and then we can continue from there. Okay, so I do see some dead bodies here, so let's just tread carefully. And there's our quest giver, Balthul Shadow Strike. Hello there, Alyssa sent you? Then it is good tidings you bring. I have troubling news to report to her, and had no means with which to deliver it. A group of warlocks has taken up residence around and inside the tower. I would have returned to Aberdeen to report to Alyssa earlier, but I was afraid that I might miss something while I was away. Delgrin suspected such a company might be gathering at the tower, but did not know why. A few scraps of parchment that the warlocks carry have found their way into my hands, but I need more to complete the puzzle. I warn you not to venture into the tower. However, the warlocks there are much more powerful. Collect 4 worn parchments for Balthul Shadow Strike that the warlocks carry. I warn you not to venture into the tower. Okay, so maybe we can collect these pieces of parchment from the enemies that are outside. And I think that's going to be a perfect place to end it for today. We do have some competition anyway for that parchment. And yeah, we made a lot of progress today. Picked up a brand new weapon, got to explore Darnassus for a little bit. And some really cool quest lines so far that, you know, I never read the quest text for, especially here in Darkshore. So it's really cool to get some more detail on some of this stuff I've been breezing over in the past. So in the next one, we'll be right back here in Darkshore. We'll pick up right here at the Tower of Athalax. We'll see how much of it we can complete. I'm not sure where it's going to take us, but I'm here for it. So, as always, I appreciate you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care.